Please kindly come and address the gathering. I think we all have been waiting to hear. Thank you.
Dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais, delegates, invitees, media, ladies and gentlemen. I think I must begin by profusely apologizing for the delay. I think the delay was more on my part and not on part of the organizers here. Well, usually there is a saying which says that to a common man, IST would mean Indian Standard Time, but to a person in public life, IST would mean Indian stretched time. So, so let me apologize once again for the delay in being here, but also let me add that it is indeed a great honor and a privilege for me to be here with all of you. Well, I was just listening to somebody say, ma'am, most of you here, most of us here, we know you very well and we have been your students. I think being in gemology, that is an advantage that I have always enjoyed, the privilege that I had enjoyed of having taught a few who are presently in the jewelry trade. And believe me, those have been memorable years, memorable days. And I still, go back and think the fond memories that I have in the Hyderabad Institute of Gem and Jewelry, teaching so many of the jewelers who are in trade today. I think that was a great, great honor. And I really thoroughly enjoy it, and I nourish and I cherish the memorable moments. But let me also congratulate UBM for the wonderful work that they have been doing in conducting exhibitions like this, where they bring in all aspects of jewelry onto one podium, where there is exchange of views, technological upgradation, where there are B2B meetings held, so that there is a lot of awareness that is being created and built up, not only in terms of what the market would be, but also in terms of technology upgradation. Even as I was walking up into this auditorium here and I was walking up onto the dais, I was told by the organizers that the focus of this particular exhibition would be on manufacturing. And jewelry manufacturing is something that has actually missed the eye. Trade has always been there. We know for a fact that jewelry has always been part of our Indian tradition and culture. And even to this day, be it the poorest of the poor, but even 1 gram gold given to the girl is something that is very valued. Not as more in terms of dowry, but more in terms of the cultural heritage that we have, the cultural, whatever we have been inheriting from our ancestors. I think that is largely what jewelry would actually mean to many of us in India. But I do congratulate the focus of UBM on the manufacturing sector, because we know for a fact that when it comes to manufacturing, accepting the traditional manufacturing styles that we have, the latest advance in manufacturing is something that is what India needs to keep pace with. And the other parts of the world have actually been overtaking us when it comes to that, when it comes to the metals that have been used, the kind of manufacturing techniques that go into manufacturing of jewelry. I think this is something that has always missed our eye, and this is something, an area or a sector which we can actually promote as an industry itself. There was a humble beginning that was made in Hyderabad some years ago to focus on manufacturing, to bring in people and students from rural areas where skill development, upgradation classes could be given to them and they could be employed in manufacturing itself. But somehow that intervention had actually fizzled out and didn't see the light of the day. And I think now time is ripe when all of us are ready to look towards manufacturing, to look at the new advance in manufacturing, where we don't want the other parts of the world to overtake us. Here is a country that has the rich heritage, rich culture, where we could actually promote our own jewelry itself. But somehow we haven't been able to keep pace with the happenings in the world, and the other parts of the world have actually overtaken India today. So I think time today is ripe for us to encourage the sector of jewelry, gems as well, and to see how we can actually make a mark for ourselves and for our country in the world global scenario. India definitely has the skills, it has the interest, and all that is required is a little bit of investment to go into this aspect where we can definitely support gems and jewelry. There have been various concerns that have been voiced today. We have had the Jewelry Association make the representations to me, the Bullion Association who had made representations to me about the changes that have come in the past 2 days, and definitely from my side I would assure you that I would take your concerns to the notice of the Finance Minister and appraise him of your concerns. Well, there could be some justification from his side which we need to understand as well, and therefore I think we need to definitely keep our minds open. But from my side, definitely I would take your concerns to the notice of the Honorable Finance Minister and see how far this intervention can actually go. There was at one time when the budget did happen about a year ago, when there was a lot of concern which came up, which was addressed very well by the then Finance Minister, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, and I'm sure Shri Chidambaram is also open in his mind to listen to us and to see whether he can help us and which way he can actually help us. And therefore I think definitely from my side, my support is there, and I would as a Minister of State for Commerce and Industry try to weigh the pros and cons and take it to the notice of the Honorable Finance Minister. Let me once again congratulate UBM for the wonderful work that they have been doing. I gather that there are about 150 exhibitors who are actually present here in this exhibition, where not only the jewelry but also the manufacturing and the instrumentation is something that is very, very important today. With the advent of many simulants, with the advent of many synthetics, I think this is one aspect also that needs to be greatly focused upon. And therefore, I think it is very, very important that we bring all aspects of jewelry trade under one roof, just as UBM has done here today. I congratulate the wonderful work that they have been doing over the years. I gather this is not the first or the second time, but the fifth time that they have actually conducted such shows in India, or rather in Hyderabad. But with I think the Jewelry Association, this is the second time that they are doing it. And I'm sure they will have many more years of innings to go by, where they would successfully conduct the shows, probably at a better level. I did have the opportunity to visit the shows at Bangkok and even at Basel when I was myself into teaching in the Hyderabad Institute of Gem and Jewelry. So I think we need to look at even those exhibitions and see how we can bring in more, more maturity into our own exhibitions. Even as I say that, I know for a fact that probably Hyderabad does have the facility to support such shows, but we need to create the kind of infrastructure that is required to hold such exhibitions. Ministry of Commerce and Industry, definitely through a program called ASIDE, is willing to help state governments who are wanting to come up with infrastructure that could probably help trade and commerce. And therefore, I would sincerely appeal to the state governments to come forward and to avail the support that the Ministry of Commerce and Industry is willing to give to establish more and more conventional centers, such as the one that we have in Hyderabad, in other tier 2 and tier 3 cities as well. Because these exhibitions, I strongly feel, should not be confined just to the metros, but need to go into the tier 2 and the tier 3 cities, where there is lots and lots of trade that is happening there silently, invisibly, and behind the screens. I think that should be our focus now, and I would sincerely appeal to the governments to kindly avail the support that the Government of India is willing to give you to establish more and more infrastructure to take these exhibitions further into the towns. We do have Jaipur, which is a startling example of what we can do, where you don't have actually raw material available, but Jaipur today has been recognized as a center for cutting and polishing for gemstones, not only in India but worldwide. Therefore, if we have the mind, if we have the thought, and if we have the focus of trying to do something, I think we should be able to do with the kind of intellectual capacities that are available with us. I was very recently in Bangkok, where they did speak of treatment to gemstones, which is actually grown as an industry there. We do have places within our own country where we do not find the quality gemstones, but we do have the gemstones generally available in the country. Therefore, even as we follow ethics, following the ethics required in the international trade, where treatment to gemstones are also divulged before they are being sold, I think India itself can look at such prospects and see how we can actually explore unexplored aspects of the jewelry trade, which is where I think there's lots of potential for India to grow and to capture the world market. So with these words, I would once again like to congratulate UBM, and I would once again apologizing for the delay in my being here. I do hope that they do conduct more and more exhibitions like this, not 1 and 2 in a year, but probably a little more, and probably try to scale themselves to the level of what is being done in Hong Kong and Basel as well, where India can actually become the hub for the International Gem and Jewelry Trade Fair. So once again, wishing them all the best, and wishing all the exhibitors all the best, because I'm sure you are due to make a lot of business here. I do thank one and all for having given me the wonderful opportunity to be here with all of you. Thank you.